At a wedding filled with power, wealth, and celebration, one young girl sat in silence, ignored, unseen, and forgotten. She was the daughter of a powerful CEO, yet no amount of money could protect her from being overlooked. Everyone chose comfort over kindness. Everyone except one man. What happened next didn't just change her night, it changed how an entire room understood humanity. This is a story about dignity, courage, and the quiet power of speaking up. The wedding hall looked like a dream carved from gold. Crystal chandeliers shimmered above polished floors. Laughter echoed between powerful conversations. Every guest seemed important. Every smile looked practiced. But in one corner away from the music, away from the cameras, sat a young girl in a wheelchair. She wore a beautiful dress chosen with hope, not fashion. Her hands rested quietly in her lap. People passed by her table without stopping. Some glanced briefly, then looked away. Not out of cruelty, out of discomfort. The music was loud, but around her, there was silence. And silence, when shared by many, becomes rejection. She was the CEO's daughter, surrounded by everything money could buy except inclusion. From across the hall, the CEO watched his empire celebrate. He had influence, authority, and respect. Yet his eyes never left his daughter. He noticed every empty chair near her. Every moment, no one spoke. Each glance that avoided her wheelchair felt like a quiet failure. He had promised her this wedding would be joyful, that she would feel proud, included, loved. But tonight, his success meant nothing. No contract, no fortune, no power could force people to see her heart before her condition. For the first time in years, the CEO felt helpless, not as a businessman, but as a father. Among tailored suits and expensive watches stood a single dad with tired eyes and a simple smile. He didn't move like the others. He wasn't scanning the room for status. He was watching people, and that's when he saw her, sitting alone, smiling politely at nothing. He felt a familiar ache, the kind that comes from being overlooked. He had felt it after his wife passed away. He had seen it in his child's eyes on hard days. Pain doesn't need an introduction. It recognizes itself. And in that moment, he knew ignoring her would be the real mistake. The man's child pulled gently at his sleeve. "Daddy, why is that girl all alone?" The question was soft, but powerful. The father paused. Adults had explained away their silence all night. But a child needed no explanation. He answered honestly. "Sometimes people forget how to be kind." The child shook their head. "That's sad." And just like that, the decision was made. Not out of bravery, not out of confidence, but because kindness delayed becomes regret. The single dad walked toward her. The closer he got, the quieter the room felt. Some guests noticed, others pretended not to. He smiled warmly and said, "Hi, I hope I'm not interrupting. I just wanted to say, you look amazing tonight." Her eyes lifted in surprise. No pity, no hesitation. Just respect. He introduced his child, who waved without fear. In that moment, the room didn't see a wheelchair. They saw a connection forming, and connection makes people uncomfortable because it reminds them of what they avoided. They talked about music, about favorite food, about ordinary things. He never mentioned her condition, not once. And that's when something changed. Her shoulders relaxed. Her smile became real. Laughter replaced tension. Nearby guests began to notice not her disability, but her joy. One simple conversation had done what wealth could not. It returned her dignity without asking permission. After a pause, she spoke quietly. "People usually don't talk to me." Her voice didn't blame, it confessed. The single dad replied, "Then they're missing out." Tears filled her eyes, not from sadness, but relief. Someone had acknowledged her truth without defining her by it. For the first time that night, she felt like she belonged. and belonging heals wounds no one else can see. The CEO watched, unmoving. A stranger had given his daughter what his power never could: respect, inclusion, humanity. In that moment, he understood something deeply uncomfortable. Real influence doesn't come from authority. It comes from example. And tonight, an ordinary man had led the room. Slowly, others followed. A woman approached, then a man. Conversations changed tone. Apologies were whispered. The wedding transformed. The girl was no longer hidden in a corner. She was at the center of warmth. All because one person chose courage over comfort. Later, the CEO thanked the single dad. "You gave my daughter something priceless," he said. The man answered simply, "I just treated her like a person." And that is the lesson. Kindness doesn't need status, it needs action. This is Miracles of Kindness, where one voice can change an entire room.